Florida against the Chicago Red Stars. We'll kick it off with a quick question. Reminder, please raise your hand if you have any questions that you would like to voice, and we'll have an opportunity when we're ready. Today, we're doing things a little bit different. If you would like to turn your camera on, you can, and you. If not, you are welcome to stay with your camera off. So let's begin. Head coach, how's it going? Preseason down in Florida, winding down this final week. What have you been most excited about, and what have you seen from the team?
I think the most exciting thing is seeing how the players are taking on board the new style of football and how they are applying the concepts and making sure that they are working together to do their best for Gotham to be a successful team this year, and they're doing that in a fantastic environment of when we are on the pitch and when we are on the pitch of what I like to call a high performance environment of winning, but then also on the human side, with obviously being here for almost a month, and I was talking to them of how impressed I was of how they behave, how they support. We obviously have families with us, we got babies, we got younger players, older players, and I think so far they've been outstanding.
All right. Media reminder, if you have a question, to please click the raise hand icon. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. All right, we'll start with Jenna Tonelli. Jenna.
I think you're mute, Jenna.
Yeah, there we go. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. I'm Jenna Tonelli from The Equalizer. I was just wondering if there's kind of any updates on players, injuries. Obviously we know Kelly O'Hara's working back from an injury, and just kind of what the status is of the team, if you can say.
Yeah, at the moment, obviously it's pre-season, so there is some players that are in and out of sessions, but at the moment we are very pleased with how we're managing everything. The players, you can see for the players that are playing in the games, everyone is doing really well. So at the moment there is nothing very special to notify. So all I can say is obviously that Kelly is working towards coming back into the game, and the bits that she's doing, she's showing her class step by step. She's getting closer to coming back to full fitness. So very pleased for her. No, she's worked really hard for a long period of time to be in this position. So looking forward to have her with us on the pitch.
And one last one for me. I know the national team players have come back from their various federations to join preseason. So how has it been integrating them back into the kind of preseason fold, and seeing what they're able to do in their fitness coming off of the international break?
Yeah, so we've obviously done a lot of work while they weren't here, especially with the US women national team players. We didn't have them until basically 4 or 5 days ago. So I haven't even had a chance to be with them in the team. So these first few days has been about them adapting a little bit to the way we are doing things, the style of play that we have, and trying to get them up to speed with the style. Obviously with Ify and Bruna that came back from other countries, we had a couple of sessions beforehand, and they are very intelligent players, so they are catching up really quick and ready to compete, to try to get one of those spots in the team.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
All right, our next question will go to Courtney. Courtney Stitt, you are unmuted.
Awesome. Hi, Coach. Courtney Stith from Diaspora United. I guess I was curious, given that this is your first full preseason in the NWSL, just how it's been, and if there's any lessons that you've learned from coming from Houston now to Gotham.
In terms of from preseason?
Yeah, or just in general. Yeah,
obviously it was a bit different because I think the break is way too long, so it's difficult to know how the players are going to come back. So the first thing you need to see is how is the state of these players that haven't been competing for 4 months. And apart from that, it's been fantastic. We are lucky to be here in Florida at the moment. We're back in New Jersey. The temperature and the weather is a bit tougher, so we've been able to work without that worry, which is fantastic, in a great facility that the club has provided for us. So in that way, I think it's been a great experience getting like there's a new coaching team, a lot of new staff members, and a lot of new players. So spending this time together has been unbelievable. It has an unbelievable value, and then we're also very pleased. Now we see everyone working really hard. Everyone is pushing to the limit, trying to make sure they go within the style of play while at the same time they're able to show themselves on the pitch, because we're very big about our players being able to express themselves off the pitch on the pitch. So very, very pleased. I think it's going really well.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, our next question goes to Carrie Anderson. Carrie?
Hi, Coach. Nice to meet you. My name's Carrie. I'm just wondering, with Gotham starting or ending last year kind of at the bottom of the table and having risen in the preseason, what do you think those people are seeing with the team going into this season?
So you mean like the change for Gotham from last season to this one?
Yes.
I hope they can see a completely different team. There's a lot of new players, players obviously that stayed at the club that we identify, that they are capable of improving their performance as individuals and as a team. And we're trying to create, as I said a few times already, a style of play that is exciting for our fans, that everyone enjoys watching. And I think that we don't really look at last year. We just try to look at what we need to do. Obviously, I wasn't here, so I think for me, it's obviously, my job started in November. So what we need to make sure is that the team is as ready as possible when that game comes in LA, for that first game of the season. And hopefully from there, it's going to be a process, but it's going to be a process that we believe is going in the right direction.
Thank you.
Our next question will go to Cameron Albert. A reminder to our media, if you could please share your outlet, as our head coach is getting to know you as well. So Cameron, your line is now unmuted.
Sure. Cameron Albert, Hudson River Blue. Coach, can you talk a little bit about how the goalkeepers on this squad have been doing so far this preseason, and then how you see that position kind of looking forward this year?
Yeah, at the moment they are, we have 3 fantastic goalkeepers here in camp at the moment, on Michelle, Mandy, and Abby. They are all understanding the role of the goalkeeper in our style of play. I think it's a role that we really pay attention to, not only what they can do when we obviously are defending to save the goal, but also distribution, how we communicate with the team, what's the head positioning depending on different situations of the game. So at the moment they are rotating, all of them are really showing the ability that they have to be able to play. So at this moment in time, it is a unit that I'm very pleased with, and a unit that we have certainly a lot of strength. We go some players that are a bit more senior, that have a bit more experience, some very good young talent as well. So I'm excited to see where we get from here.
It looks like we have one additional person joining us right now. So we'll take one last question. Jonathan Tanwell, I see that you have joined us. By chance, do you have a question for our head coach? I want to make sure that we give you that opportunity as well.
I do, but I'd be shocked if it hasn't already been asked. So I apologize for jumping in.
I'm happy to reply. I'm happy to answer any question, even if it's similar to one before. Really,
I appreciate that very much. Jonathan Tannenwald from the Philadelphia Inquirer. What have you seen so far of the Person, Manu Williams front 3, and what possibilities you see there, and indeed whether it ends up remaining a front 3 or not, or whether you want to do something else with it?
Well, a couple of things. So first one, I don't really like to talk about like the front 3, or there are, and as I said, in our style of play, there is a lot of players that we want to get into those forward positions. We're trying to create some offensive automatisms that are more based in the position you're at that moment in time on the pitch, and where is the ball, more than just what's your position, in order to be less predictable. So that's how we work. Then In terms of the forward line, I think you mentioned that. I think it was Lynn, Mitch, and Ify, but there is other players that are competing for that position that are doing fantastically well. No, we've had Jasmine Ryan up there. We got Jenna Nicewonger, Svava. There is at the moment a lot of, we got Naho. There's a lot of players that are going, even we've tried Big Piquet there. I think it's a moment for us to see which players can understand better the roles of what we do, and they are all really bringing something different to the table. So obviously those three players that you mentioned, they came back not long ago, and there has been other players doing those roles, and now it's a question of all of them making sure that they compete with each other and prove themselves at training and in the scrimmages to be able to play.
Given that, and as you said, the breadth of people you've got, the breadth of names you mentioned. Obviously, lots of managers like to start with the back line when they figure out who's going to be on the field. But do you sooner, given how much talent of the forward line you have, do you start there and then figure out how many midfielders you're going to put behind them, or do you start with the midfield and then figure out how many forwards you're going to put in front of them?
I think I like to build the teams from back to front. I think the key in a team is making sure that everyone understands the roles on the defending side, and from the build on the attack. You're not going to be able to be a good team attacking if you're not a good team defending. So I think it's important to do that, and for me it's very important that our forwards understand really well their defensive duties, because and it happens a lot in this league. There is a lot of distances between the lines. There is a lot of transitions, and you need a team that behaves together on the pitch. And for that, the role of the forwards is extremely important on that. But then also how the defenders are understanding that. So at the moment, we're trying, obviously, to see what's the best combination. It's still very early. As I mentioned, it's only been like 1 week or less than that, just a few days working with some of these international players. So it's a question of them buying into it, adapting to the style, understanding the role, and then if they are the better, doing it, we always look at commitment, attitude, and performances. If they are the best on that, then they will be the ones playing probably the most minutes throughout the season. If they are not, then it will be someone else. No, all these players, I want to remind everyone, you mentioned Ify and Mitch and Lynn at some point in their careers. There was other players that were younger, so they were young and they tried to take the position of someone else. No, so I think that's how football is, and I want to create that environment where everyone thinks they need to be on their toes in order to be able to be on the pitch.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No problem.
All right. And our final question will go to Jenna Tonelli. Jenna, go ahead.
Thank you so much for humoring me with I have one more and then one kind of quick follow-up-ish one. Ali Long, obviously coming back from pregnancy, long anticipated return for her, was really clutch for the team in 2021. Just kind of what you've seen from her and her progression and how she's been doing in preseason.
Well, I think her progression in these 4 weeks has been unbelievable. Obviously you could tell at the beginning that maybe she hasn't played for a long time, but now the more she's on this environment, the more she's on the football pitch, the more that she's exposed to it, the quicker she's thinking, executing actions, getting fit. It's a whole package. I've obviously had Alex at the Spurs, that when she was coming back after pregnancy. I've had other players coming back after pregnancy, even at the Spurs as well before Alex. And I know it's a process. It's a process because it's a big change in the human body, and it just takes some time to get readapted. But if you see any of our training sessions, you have no doubts that Ali Long is a player with a lot of quality, but at the same time, same that I said about the other players, she is going to have to fight. There is a lot of competition in those positions. So she needs to make sure she performs really well in order to be able to be on that pitch a lot of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to hear. And last one for me is just, what are you looking forward to getting out of Florida and coming back up to New York, New Jersey, but both, with training and preseason and just personally?
Yeah, obviously for me it would be great because I haven't been for a long time in terms of my personal life, to be living there and get settled finally, because it's been hectic and start the preseason come up here. So that's a little bit on the personal side. And then as a team, obviously, start to feel like what is our home, where we're gonna be every day. There's a lot of work that the club is doing at this moment in time to make sure that everything is the best it can be for the players, for the staff. So yeah, I'm excited to come back home, be there in New Jersey, and I'm really looking forward to obviously our first home game. It's still a bit of time until we get to that. We first need to obviously go to LA. So I'm big, and I say the players this every day. It's about enjoying every day, living every day. So we have still two more days here in Florida. We got a big game tomorrow for us to compete against another great NWSL team, and I'm sure the weather is not the same in New Jersey that what it is here. So let's enjoy this couple of days, and then we will enjoy what is coming, what is around the corner once we're back home in New Jersey, New York. No?
Well, you'll get a 60-degree day one day and then snow the next day. So that's what you got up here.
I'm still struggling with the Fahrenheit degrees, so it's all right. For me, 60 it still sounds hot in my head. So sometimes I would rather not think too much about it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. All right. Thank you so much for your time.
No problem.
Right.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for covering and your questions. Okay.
Thank you all. We'll send around a recording later today. Friendly reminder, we today will be issuing out credential applications for the full season. So if you are interested in applying for a full season credential, please look for that advisory and fill it out as soon as you can. And please, we respectfully request that if you do that, you plan to attend the majority of our games this season. Otherwise, you can certainly always do it on a game-by-game basis. So thanks again for joining us, and we hope to see you all again soon. Please reach out if you have any additional questions. Bye-bye.